Dear Morgan, you know, these past couple years doing this podcast with you, it's been swell and super. But, you know, really kind of hoping that after this episode we can be more than that. Signed, your BFF, Dutch.
The fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Let's find out. That's so stupid.
It is. Best intro ever.
So we try to take a scene from the movies that we do and turn it into an intro that we can use. And this one was exceptionally difficult to come up with anything.
Yes.
But it's such a great opening scene to this movie. And we're doing the movie Just Friends. We almost forgot. We almost skipped past the crucial part of our podcast is introducing the movie.
Honestly, we just really kind of figured that once you clicked on the link to listen to it, you knew what you were listening to.
It's got the name right in the title.
I know, with a brief description.
And you know how we don't like doing things in chronological order, as
right.
that lesson that we learned so long ago. But the opening of this movie is so great. Like, we have to talk about it.
I swear, dude, it's still Boys to Men.
It's. I'll just let you believe that.
Good. You're learning.
Quick. Yeah, he's listening to I Swear, and Ryan
By
Reynolds
Boyz
is
II
wearing a fat suit, all for one. But and it's funny because you could tell it's obviously a fat suit, just because of the way that his chin protrudes from his double chin.
Yeah.
And but he's wearing the retainer. He's
got big, like, white curly afro.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
A Jufro.
Well, it looked like a Jufro.
Yeah, it was a Jufro.
Which I thought was weird because he doesn't have curly hair.
No, not even a little.
No. So he had a perm in high school. That's the only thing I can take away from that. But he's listening to I Swear. He's
by Boyz II Men.
He's signing Jamie's yearbook. You know, his best friend, his BFF.
Yeah.
And
hoping to be more.
Obviously.
Chris Brander.
But oh my God, and then his brother comes in, and this is just a preview
my
of, like,
brother's a homo or something. I can't remember.
Something along those lines. Yeah. So
get out of my room.
His brother's who's probably around 8 at the time. I want to say around 8 because when Chris eventually comes back to New Jersey, his brother's 18. Excuse me. Wow, that was well brought up. Too bad I wasn't, right? Excuse me. Yeah, so because he's gone for 10 years after having a traumatic experience his senior year, or after graduation, I should say. But yeah, he eats a cookie after taking his retainer out, and then his brother catches him, like, listening to the sappy song, which I know.
By Boyz II Men.
It was one of my favorites in the early 90s, not going to lie. A girl that I had a crush on back then. I had actually called the radio station to play that song, and I waited up, like, all night to wait for them to play it, and they never did. I'm like, I'm never calling a radio station again.
And to this day, I haven't.
No, but I did try to put my birthday into a local radio station here earlier this year, and they never said my name, so fuck them. Man, if you haven't seen Just Friends, do yourself a favor. I mean, my God, what have you been living under a rock? A lot of them have.
Yeah, you never had a girlfriend or anything? I mean, come on.
This might be one of his, like, underrated roles, in my opinion. This was such a great movie.
I really kind of feel like that when this movie came out, it kind of stayed under the radar. You know, I mean, it's I don't think it was, I guess, well publicized or whatever, that, hey, you know, we have this new, but then again, I mean, at that time, Ryan Reynolds was, I think he had just done the movie Blade Trinity. So I think he got no notoriety for that. I know he had already done Van Wilder,
right,
and everything, but I think that he was kind of more worried about getting typecast as like a National Lampoon character, as opposed to like a good actor, and I mean, and he's shined for the past 20 something years since these movies.
Yeah, even though he is Ryan Reynolds in every movie that he does.
Right.
With a couple exceptions. He did that one movie where his daughter gets kidnapped at a young age, and then he just basically The
Captive.
Yeah.
That movie is phenomenal.
It was really good.
Yes.
And honestly, he did a good job in Amityville Horror, the remake of that as well. So he is capable of stepping outside of this typical comedy genre.
Right.
But no, I mean, he's so funny in this movie. Playing the fat kid from high school, being, very pathetic, and the overly sensitive guy who's best friends with the hot girl from high school. And, obviously he wants to be more, but he knows that he doesn't have a chance in hell. And then he gets picked on. So this is another scene where there's bullies in a movie. You know, we had talked about this doing Hocus Pocus last year. How the bullies were just kind of over the top. There weren't people that actually acted that way. It was stupid.
I mean, and if they did act that way, they definitely didn't have a big group of people around them.
They're cheering for them.
Yeah, you just smashed that pumpkin. You showed that vegetable.
Yeah, because, at the beginning of the movie, he goes over to Jamie's house thinking that it's just going to be him and maybe a couple friends.
Yeah, I think it was going to be Clark and Darla, him and Jamie.
Darla.
Yes, I like other girls.
But yeah, she's got a whole party of people, including the entire football team.
Yeah. And then he even says too, and he's asking, he's like, well, where's Jamie?
I think she's in the garage with I think I saw her the whole football team.
Yeah, I think I saw her going to the garage with the entire football team.
What the hell, man?
But I do like his friend that every time he comes up, his friend Clark, who's always just like, Chris Brander, ladies and gentlemen.
But but it gets to the point where it's if he doesn't say it, you feel all right, you got to say it.
Yeah.
So you anticipate it every time.
I like when he goes back for the first time and he was like, he sees Clark and Darla at the bar when he's back for the first time in 10 years, and he walks up and he's like, excuse me, do you think America will ever switch to the metric system? And he's like, that's a very good question, friend.
Chris Brander.
It's Chris Brander, ladies and gentlemen.
It's oh my God, what's going on, you guys? Yeah. He's like, oh, we're married. What, married?
But I like that Samantha, Anna Faris, she comes running over and she was like, you're married? And he's like, yeah, we got a little kid, TJ. He's like, TJ.
She forces herself into the conversation and you just want to punch her in the face the whole time she's there.
But her facial expressions throughout this movie make it so funny. When they have to do an emergency landing in New Jersey. So when they get there, it knocks on the door, and she was like, she's the reason they had to do the emergency landing.
Yeah, because she
was like, what are you talking about? The container said microwavable, and he's like, yeah, but the tinfoil wasn't.
Well, I'm not supposed to know things like that.
I'm the talent. But then when they're standing at his house and he knocks on the door, which I always thought that was kind of weird. Why not just go in? It's your house too.
I'm sure you still have a key.
Yeah. And it didn't even sound like it was locked. She just comes and opens the door.
It's usually not.
Yeah. So
it's a prop.
But then when she's standing outside and she was like, look at you bringing me home to meet your family. Is this all a little ploy on how you got me here? And he's like, yeah, I planned on you setting the plane on fire.
She doesn't acknowledge half the shit that he says, even though it's a direct dig at her.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But when the mom answers the door and she's like, just starts screaming, her honest face, the way it changes, this huge smile to instant terror, oh God.
Yeah.
What is this?
So then Ryan Reynolds, he's like, Mom! But then he covers his ears. He's like, ow!
Hi!
Oh, my little boy! That is a great scene when he gets home. And then, he settles in. They're sitting on the couch and, he's kind of talking to his mom. Samantha's sitting right next to him. Yeah. And she grabs him in the balls at one point.
She's like, isn't just Chris great? And he's like, come on,
He is. Yes, he is a nice boy or whatever. Yeah. But then his little brother Mike comes home
in with the street sign, and he was like, "Good job tonight, Dougie." Okay.
And then when Mike looks over and you see the excitement on his face, like, oh my God, and you think he's happy to see his big brother, and he immediately goes right over and sit next to Samantha.
Yeah, and but it's funny because as he walks by Chris, he just smacks the shit out of him and sits down. He's like, "Hi, my name's Mike Brander." It's like, I have your poster on my wall.
He's like, "Samantha, it's my brother Mike Brander."
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I got your poster on the wall. She's like, I slapped the ham to it an hour ago.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I like Chris that he was like, yeah, he's like, I got your poster on my wall. And then Chris was like, you have her poster on your wall? And he's like, yeah, slapped the ham to it like an hour ago.
And then mom
Joyce,
was like, yeah, she's like,
the mom's was
what
like,
ham? The ham I just bought? She's so clueless and innocent. You gotta love her.
I know.
But the dynamic between, Mike and Chris throughout the entire movie it's what makes the movie, in my opinion.
Yes,
because
that's how brothers are. I mean, that's how we are.
There's so many moments in this movie where they're just hanging out and then just slapping each other.
Honestly, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, and I mean, you know that I love noises.
Yes.
I love noises. So
that a lot of people that may not pay attention to. Yeah.
So one of the funniest scenes, I think, is when Chris is on top of Mike and he lets the spit kind of come out of his mouth and he sucks it back and he's like, ha, ha, ha. But then his phone rings. He's like, it's my boss, Truce. He's like, all right, Truce. He answers, he's like, hello? And then you just hear the brother go, meh, and like smack him in the face.
We said Truce! One of my favorite moments where they're, beating each other up is when, like, right after they slap each other in the face, Mike goes to run away to the other room, and Chris turns around and just trips him.
Yeah.
So he falls face first into the ground.
Yeah.
And then he climbs up
onto the
face
couch.
down onto the couch, and then Chris goes up to him and, like, kicks him right in the ass.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're really hitting each other.
Yeah, that looks like it was so incredibly painful.
And he's like,
I've been on the back end of that. Like, I've been the one with my face down on the couch and
receiving
getting a kick
end,
in the ass. I mean, that's what it's like growing up with brothers, or if you grow up with like cousins that are right around the same age. Yeah, I mean, you just get into those things. They don't mean anything.
Yeah. But the scene that you were talking about where Chris is sitting on Mike's face is like first thing in the morning, and he's like slapping his brother, and he's like, wake up.
Yeah.
He's like, good morning. And he wakes up and he's like, I need you to do me a favor. He's like, what? He's like, I ran into Jamie Palamino last night.
Oh, God. He was like, hey, I've changed since then. He's like, you always be fat to me, Chris.
But then he slaps him on the forehead and then grabs him by the mouth. And he's like, I need you to detain Samantha.
I can do that.
Immediately, without thought. But these couple of times where he's trying to get his brother to, occupy Samantha so he can pursue Jamie. Yeah. But he's like, take her to the mall, because he's using.
It's like, oh, the mall sucks.
You gotta, connect with your fans.
Yeah.
And what better way than to, ride around with one.
Yeah. And then it's funny because she was like, wait, you're not coming with me? And he's like, no, you have to do this on your own. I can't be a crutch. And then he's like, watch your face. Just slams the door.
But it's like they're dead middle of winter and the car window is rolled down. Like, why?
Yeah, that I don't understand. I mean,
and even like
because it looks like you get a foot of snow there an hour.
Yeah, and like he finds his Porsche that he rented later on, and his brother had the windows rolled down.
Yeah,
and it's like, damn it, Mike, and the car won't start.
I just like when he picks up Jamie the first time. She's like, "Wow, Porsche," and he was like, "Yeah,
I bet the girls love that."
And then he was like, "That's the last thing they had. I hate this thing
so
too.
Ostentatious,
so ostentatious." What? I think another. I mean, the entire movie's good, but the facial expressions and the random noises alone. like when they had the date, but he was looking for his ice skates. Chris is looking for his ice skate, and he's like, Mom! She was like, what is it, Peanut? And he was like, where are my ice skates? And she was like, oh, I gave those away a long time ago. And he was like, what? Why? Why would you do that? He was like, I'm going skating with Jamie and I need them so I can show off my talents. And she was like, well, Chris, you're never here. Why would I hang on to them? Which is actually, I admire that.
Yeah.
In a parent. Yeah, you're never here. Why would I hang on to it?
That's
just
good.
on some random fact that you might come home?
You may need them.
Yeah.
Would they even fit?
But then what's really funny is like, she was like, now come on, me and Mikey are making snow angels. And she runs off. He's like, and then he looks and he's like, my snow globe collection.
Yes.
And he's just like lines one of them up and then he's just rubbing it on his cheek.
He puts it on his cheek. And it's like instantly back to fat Chris.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why that scene is so funny.
No, I love that. Yeah, they do the date and he can't act right because he wants so bad to impress Jamie, but I guess he just assumes by being a jerk that she's going to like it because the guys that she dated in high school acted that way.
Yeah. And that's another thing that I noticed about the movie was Chris had a very hard time accepting the fact, or at least when it comes to Jamie, like that they weren't in high school. Like eventually you have to sit there and be like, eventually people are going to mature. Like, are you always going to date jerks? No. Like, because you're going to grow up and be like, man, I need to find something more steady, something that I can actually live with.
Yeah.
And then, but other people around it are trying to talk to Chris, like his buddy Clark is telling him. He was like, like when she spends the night. And he was like, I don't know. He's like, I tried to do this weird thing, and then I started thinking. He was like, God, what
where we go from here?
Where do we go from here? Like, does she move out there? Do I move back here? And he was like, Jesus, dude, I thought you just wanted to sleep with her.
It's like, thank you for being the voice of reason.
Yeah, exactly. But I like it when they go to lunch.
They go to that little diner.
Yeah. My little chubby bunny, and then she's like pinching his cheek, and he has a fork, and he's like,
personal space.
Personal space.
Yeah, she comes back with this huge stack of pancakes with like chocolate syrup, like whipped cream, and cherries all over it.
Gummy bears, probably. Skittles, I think I saw some in there.
Most likely. Maybe some crushed Oreos.
And
you never know.
He was like, and then she was like, God, could you be more rude? And he was like, no,
she was rude. She was rude.
It's like, I haven't had sweets in 10 years.
Do you know what this would do to my stomach?
She was like, just relax, little girl. You can have my sandwich. I'll have the pancakes. And he's like, I'll just enjoy this glass of water. It's like,
sip. I'm stuffed. It's so good.
It is.
But yeah, he can't act right because, he gets a phone call at the diner and he's like, what does he say? Coast is calling or something? Something like that.
Oh, yeah. He was like, excuse me, be right back. It's the Coast.
Yeah. So then she's like, what happened to him?
Yeah.
And then he comes back and sits down. So how's the Coast?
Super. Like he does the little finger guns.
But yeah, after he drops her off and he's trying to do the right thing and walk her to the door and everything. Yeah. And, they have that weird, awkward conversation. Well, it was great running into you last night. You know, it's nice catching up and everything. And she's like, yeah. It's a big surprise or whatever.
Yeah, because I think that she's kind of more
annoyed because not annoyed, but I think disappointed because she thought he would be different.
Yeah. And, and of course it's like, he is different. But he's trying to be, that macho jerk that he knew that she loved in high school. So it's like, that's what he's trying for. But, it's just kind of obviously not working out to his advantage. And she's kind of now on that mentality of like, God, if this is how this guy is, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah. So he's kind of split between being the jerk and, well, what is it going to take for her to like me?
Yeah.
And so in the process of them saying goodbye, he goes in like a kiss, but then they're kind of do this whole weird back and forth thing with their heads.
Well, it's funny because he goes in for a kiss. I think she went in for a hug, but they ended up kind of like shaking hands also. but he just hugged her and then just like shook her.
He's like
up
picks
and
her
down.
up and is like shaking her.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to him at Clark because Clark's a dentist, and he's like,
I went in for a kiss, but she went in for a hug, and then we were caught in this weird kiss hug kind of limbo thing, and I just ended up shaking her entire body.
"You gave her a body shake?" Oh my god. Then those scenes with him and Clark are pretty great.
I think another scene that is funny is at the beginning when they're at the party, and then he sees Jamie dancing in the garage and everything, and she sees Chris, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're here!" And so they run up to her room, and they go into her room, and she was like, "We made it." And then he was like, he has his yearbook, and he's just like, "Oh, I really want you to read what I wrote for
and then
you."
People keep barging in the room.
Yeah, because he's sitting there, and he was like, I'm really trying to this is the night. This is the night that I'm going to express my feelings to Jamie Palamino. And I can't remember the football player's name, like Steve or something.
It was Tim or something.
Yeah, Steve or Tim. But he comes in, and then he was like, I think it was Tim, because he was like, "Hey, Tim." And he was like, "Out of the way, nerd," and like push him. But you hear him as he's falling backwards. He's like, "Funny guy."
Like Jamie jumps onto the bed all spread legged, so up skirt shot, and then she's like rolling all over the bed because she's drunk. And so she like leans backwards, legs up in the air, spread open, and like clear shot to her panties,
underwear.
and then Chris is like looking down at it. He's like, "The hell?" But yeah, Tim is like, "Hey, Jamie," and he's drunk as shit.
Yeah.
He's like, "You want to sign my yearbook?" She's like, "Can I just do it later?" "Can I do you later?"
Then when he leaves, they get interrupted again by Dusty, because he's like, Chris Klein, who's got acne all over his. God.
You did it.
Dang darn.
He's got acne and like long greasy hair.
Yeah, and glasses and everything. And then he's like, "I wrote you a song," and he's just trying to play it. And he's like, "When James smiles," it's like, "Come on, get it together, Dusty."
He can't play the chord right.
When Jamie smiles, God damn it! But then Chris stands up and he's like, "Dusty."
Oh.
It's like, why don't you go downstairs and work on it, and then you can come back later and play it for us?
He's like, but I wrote the song.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. You just come back and play it for us later.
Which turns out to be the worst song.
It's a horrible song
ever written.
It's like, I actually want to be a famous musician one day.
Yeah.
But when you're introduced to Dusty later, he looks completely different. His skin is cleared up.
Honestly, when Dusty's introduced, the reason he's introduced, probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie, is the hockey game, the pickup hockey game with all the kids.
Yeah.
So Jamie Palomino's playing because they went ice skating.
Yeah. Chris wants to redeem himself for the horrible date that they had the day before.
So they go ice skating, and it's funny because when he's telling Clark about it in the dentist's office, his assistant's like, "Another date." But he goes ice skating, and he had to get rentals. So he was having a problem skating in the rentals because, I'm sure that they don't sharpen the blades like they should. They probably don't take care of the ice skates as they should. So he's having problems keeping his balance and everything.
I feel like if you're a professional skater or you're on a hockey team or whatever, you should be able to skate pretty well regardless of how bad the skates are.
Well, that's what one of the kids say. They were like, "Oh, you want to play in this game?" And then the other guy comes over. He's like, "Yeah, we could use a couple more bodies." And then Jamie is like, "Oh, we would, but Chris has rentals." And then that one kid's like, "A good skater can skate in anything." And he was like, "All right, you're on." So they're playing. Chris gets hacked, and then all of a sudden he stands up and he was like, "He hacked me! He hacked me!" And then
the kid is like backing up. He's like, calls him a pussy or something.
Yeah, but it was funny because he was like, "Hey," and then the that guy comes over and he was like, He's like, God, just watch her mouth. He was like, she's a little girl.
It's like, that's a girl?
That's a girl? But then, so they go on and, Chris can't do anything. He just keeps falling. He, missing shots, doing all this other stuff. And then finally, they're in a little team huddle.
Yeah.
And Jamie's sitting there and she was like, come on, we're getting killed out there, guys. And then one of the kids is like, it's all Brander's fault. He sucks. And then that one kid's
Suckster.
like, I brand you Suckster. Yeah. But then it's funny because he's sitting there and he's like, I'm really good. And then he just grabs that girl and he's like, hey, listen to this little girl. He's like, I'm a really good skater. He's like, watch. Might learn something. He's like, I'm taking this one. So they go to the puck drop and
he trips the...
But immediately it goes into slow motion.
Yes.
That's what makes it so funny because he trips the kid that he does the face off with. But just seeing Jamie right away and she's like, Chris, no. And he's skating towards the goal, knocking kids out of the way, shoulder blocks, punches to the head. And then goes to do a slap shot, and then even the other guy's like, "No slap shots."
It's funny when they put it on his face because it's slowed down, but the way that he says it is kind of weird. He's like,
"Yeah,
no slap shots."
Yeah. So he hits it. It flies towards the goal, hits the top of the post, shoots right back, and plugs him right in the mouth.
Yeah,
and hockey pucks. They're no joke, man.
Yeah.
Those things are solid concrete.
They'll get you. They'll get you.
A hockey puck isn't very big, but it's 10 pounds of solid rubber.
Heavy. It's freaking heavy. Yeah. So, yeah, bust him in the mouth and get the ambulance there because, he's all bleeding. And it's funny because as soon as Jamie sees his mouth,
she faints.
Yeah. And then here comes Dusty out of nowhere,
catches
carrying her.
And then she was like, Jamie Palamino? And she was like, Dusty Dinkelman? And he was like, well, I go by Dusty Lee now.
No, but yeah.
But I think it's funny because Chris is just sitting on the, or he's laying on the stretcher and he's like, Dusty Lee?
Dusty Lee?
Dusty Lee?
Because it's immediately he's like, because that's how he talked when he was, fat because he wore the retainer, but it's all of a sudden he's that version of Chris again. But what's so obnoxious is Dusty's like, man, I just can't get over how good you look.
Yeah, and she was like, me, look at you. And he goes, yeah, once my acne cleared up, I lost my stammer. Still play a mean guitar, though.
It's if you're an EMT or whatever,
yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'm just doing this until I can become a full-time musician.
Until my music career takes off.
Yeah. Never does. Not with that garbage. Not with that bullshit.
I do like that now Dusty Lee's back in the picture, so he has to go to Clark so he can get fitted for a retainer, get whatever in his mouth fixed up, which I didn't understand that because it looked like he busted open his lip.
Yeah, it didn't look like his teeth were messed up at all.
Yeah, so I don't know why he would have to wear the retainer.
No.
I guess just for comedic effect.
It worked.
It did.
For that.
It did. It did. So kind of what happens is, he's seeing Clark and everything, and that's when he was like, so Jamie and I went skating this afternoon, and then that's when the assistant's like, another day date. He's like, yes. He's like, and then guess what? Dusty Dinkelman. He's like, oh, you mean Dusty Lee? And he's like, yeah. He comes out of nowhere, and now Jamie gives him her number. He's like, oh, you better watch out, Chris. You got some competition there. Dusty's a really nice guy. And he's like, yeah, but Jamie doesn't like nice guys. She likes assholes. She puts all the nice guys in the friend zone. He's like, I don't know. Jamie's matured a lot since high school. And he's like, matured?
Weird.
He can't comprehend it.
Weird concept.
He's like, no wonder she went out with Dusty. Oh. And she didn't go out with Dusty.
No.
She gave Dusty her number.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't anything beyond that.
Well, she wants a sensitive guy. I'll show her the biggest pussy she's ever seen.
I like the way he says it, too, because he was like, well, if she wants a sensitive guy, then I'll show her the biggest pussy she's ever seen. Has this demented smile on his face, like, yeah.
Like, I've got this.
Even Clark is just sitting there like, yeah, okay, good luck, buddy.
This is not going to play out well.
Yeah, you're getting a little crazy even for me.
Yeah. Another scene, it kind of sets up who he becomes after high school.
Yeah.
Cuts to 10 years later, and you see him at some like fancy gala, like of a party.
Yeah, it looks like a Christmas party somewhere.
And
oh god, that girl he breaks up with is hot.
So hot. Yeah.
Hot.
So she comes up, and I don't remember the full conversation, but it's like, yeah, you don't take me serious.
Like he spits out his drink.
Yeah.
When she says that.
She's like, you're not even listening to me or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, so this is how it's going to be. She's like, I guess Athene's out.
Yeah.
Her name is Athene.
Yeah. And it's funny because she does like this weird, like she shakes her hands in front of her face like a John Cena. Yeah. And she's like, Athene out. And then walks away. And he's just like, so he turns around and he's like, wow. I guess Athene's out then.
I heard.
But then he immediately gets with another girl.
Yeah. She's sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, wow. She breaks up with me 4 days before Christmas.
It's like, I know, I saw. He's
yeah,
like,
and you did nothing, which basically makes you an accomplice. Yeah.
I do like
in some cultures that you get spanked for that.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I love to travel.
Yeah. I do like the just kind of at the next scene in that, because it breaks away and he's on a hockey team. And he shoots, he scores, like he does all this. So, and this might have been the second or third. I definitely know it's 2 times in a movie that hockey has been
in a movie that he's done.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he's a really big hockey fan. I mean, but he's from Canada. So, I mean, Canada is hockey.
Yeah.
But there might be a third movie somewhere where hockey was involved in it at some point. But after the hockey game and everything, he's walking with his assistant. I don't know who that guy is.
I think it's his buddy that's also on the team, his buddy Ray. His name is Ray, and he was talking about...
Well, because he's at the party when he just goes off with this other girl after Athene, like literally 30 seconds after Athene leaves, he's with another girl. Mm-hmm. And it's that same guy, and he's just like, he shoots, he scores.
Yeah. But I think they're friends. I think they're on the same hockey team too. But yeah, he's talking to his friend, and his friend is telling him about this girl that he's trying to hook up with, and he's like, yeah.
It's like I'm supposed to meet her for lunch later, and he's like,
whoa.
No.
He's like, he puts his hockey stick in front of him to stop him. He's like, no, you got to stop that. You got to call her back and reschedule for tonight.
Yeah.
He's like, she's basically putting you in the friend zone, and he's like,
what's the friend zone?
And I'm thinking, every time I see that scene, I'm like, was friend zone like a new term around that time when this movie came out?
I can't remember. I mean,
I don't remember a time where that wasn't the thing.
Yeah. He's like, what's a friend zone? Like, he just doesn't comprehend. I mean, to me, the title...
It explains itself.
It's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
This isn't something like it's not rocket science. You don't need a PhD to understand
No explanation is needed here. So, yeah.
We're not talking about the nexus of the universe here.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he's trying to get his friend to call her back so he can reschedule for the evening. He's like, man,
straight to voicemail.
Yeah.
And it's funny, too, because when he looks out on the ice and he's just like, he was like, yeah, take that. He was like, take that man and that woman down there.
Oh, you mean that couple?
Oh, you mean that couple? And he's like, yeah, no, I mean the guy that wishes they were a couple. And he was like, yeah, no. Then the guy does something, and then he's
struggling to skate, and then he ends up away.
Yeah.
And then, she waves to him from the ice.
So then when they're down getting a drink or whatever, and she comes in, she was like, "Hi, excuse me," and he was like,
"Excuse you?"
It's like, I saw you looking at me out there.
I saw you flirting with me in front of your boyfriend over there.
She was like, "Oh, he's not my boyfriend. We're just friends." He's like,
it's like, told you.
Yeah. But it's fun. I like him when he's talking about it. He's like, where'd you learn all this stuff? And he's like, man, some chick in high school effed me up bad.
Yeah. But the scene with his boss at the record company.
Oh, yeah. Stephen Root.
Yeah. So he's got his assistant down on the carpet scrubbing something. He's like, don't dab it, scrub it.
Yeah.
He's using a brush. I guess something spilled on the carpet or something.
I don't know.
But he's brushing the carpet to get this stain out. Don't dab it. Rub it.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a brush. You can't dab it or rub it. You brush it. It's a brush. The action is in the name.
But I do like that he's...
Did these pants make me look fat? And he's like, well,
he's like,
you're fired. Just kidding.
But I like when Chris comes in, he was like, who's got a Christmas present? He's like, I do.
Do these pants make me look fat?
Hell no. It's like, that's what I likes. But then I think it's funny because he was like, hey, I want you to go over to like this recording studio. He's like, Samantha Fox is there. And he's like, oh, no. And he was like, look, you're the one that used to diddle her, not me. And he was like, no, it was one date. And I ended up in the hospital. He was like, look, I want you to do this to make me happy. And if you can't do this,
I'll find somebody else to make me happy.
But I think it's weird the way he says it because he was like, I'll find someone else to make me happy. It's just like, ugh.
It's got some weird implications there.
But I do like it when he was just like, he was like, go, no, stay, no, you, go, no,
wait,
stay, wait.
Family.
It's like,
What the hell just happened here?
You're just sitting there like, what? This is one of those scenes where you're just like, oh my God, I've gone cross-eyed.
Yes, exactly. So he goes over to the studio to meet up with Samantha, and, you know, she's having a shit fit because in the process of this is the 43rd take of this horrible song.
Forgiveness.
No, it wasn't Forgiveness.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't Forgiveness.
It was
all
like
the songs in this movie are so terrible.
They are really freaking bad. She's like something about looking down from the stars, wonder where you are wandering from afar. Where are you?
Yeah, she's like
so
wondering where you are. Where are you? It's like, oh God, this is horrid.
It's really bad. And then she stops it because it comes to some high note and she can't hit the note. She's like, cut.
Yeah.
Okay, what joker changed the key on me? It's like, it's the same key for the last 43 takes.
Yeah. And then it's funny because she was like, God, I need my guitar.
She's like, well, I'm just not feeling it. She's like,
no, we have to record the tracks separately.
And then she's like, Hong Kong Phooey up there, like just because he doesn't know how to do his job.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
So she grabs the guitar, and I hate the way that she puts it around her neck because that's not how you do it.
I know.
The strap goes over one shoulder,
right,
and your arm goes through the loop.
Yep.
But she just keeps both straps in front of her.
Yep.
But then
you're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Cut her mic.
You're an asshole.
Cut her mic.
But then I do like when he looks at Chris and he's like, good luck. And then walks out, and then she sees Chris, so she just starts banging on the window. And he turns around and like points at her, and then she's like, and just talking.
She's trying to talk to him through the
and he's
soundproof glass.
He's like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Samantha.
Yeah, I can't hear
light
you.
bulb.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she just like realizes, he's like, oh, light bulb. So stupid.
Yeah, she comes out and she's like, Chris, it's so good to see you. I missed you. Wait, are you just here so you can sign me to your production company, or did do you actually miss me?
It's like, no, I missed you. Maybe both.
She's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of missed you too. And she's like, she says all this weird shit like, oh, God, I just want to lick your skin off.
And he's like, please don't.
But I want to. Just don't. But then she like tackles him, like jumps him onto the couch and proceeds to start taking his pants off.
Yeah.
But that's when she introduces him to that horrible song, Forgiveness.
Yeah. I wrote a new song.
God.
Going back to the scene when they end up in New Jersey because she sets the plane on fire. And they go to the bar to pick up food or whatever. And then
I don't know why they ended up at the bar.
I think they went there to pick up food.
Oh, that's right, because she was hungry.
Yeah.
But then she can't eat all the bar food. She's like, well, this isn't going to work. Oh, she says something about plastic menus.
Oh, no. It was, I remember why they went. Because he was like, yeah, I slapped the ham to it like an hour ago. And she was like, what ham did you slap? The one I just bought? And she was like, oh, do you have anything else aside from ham? Because I'm on
the Pecanos or some weird diet. She's like, because I need salmon like now.
Yeah, so they go to the bar to get food.
But I love Joyce's response to that. She's like, oh, I love salmon. It's such a great color for bedrooms. It's so calming.
Yeah, it's like, who wants a pink bedroom?
It's like, makes no mention of she immediately goes to the color instead of the food.
Yeah. So then so they go to the bar, but when they walk in, I think she's hysterical because she walks in. She's like, oh, yeah, Yeah, I know, it's a big deal.
It's like people are staring at me.
But
And it's like nobody's even acknowledging
acknowledged you at all. But when he runs into Clark and Darla and everything, and they're talking, and then he was like, Clark's just like, oh, like Chris Brander, ladies and gentlemen, and then you hear Chris Brander. And Tim turns around, who's still wearing his Letterman jacket from high school. So you can tell that, like, that's where he peaked.
Yes.
He hasn't done anything since high school.
But they had to do that weird thing where it looks like they shaved the top of his head to make him look old.
So it's funny because he sits there, he's like, Chris Brander. He's like, I saw you at the MTV Music Awards sitting next to P. Diddy.
That did not age well.
Yeah, I know. Uh-oh.
Spadudios.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go back and dub it and be like, I saw you sitting next to Kenny Chesney.
Right, something. Like, anybody else besides... He's like,
but
hey, do you have $5 that I can like have?
He's like, yeah, here you go, buddy. And he just like, thanks. He's like, whoa, class of 95. And they're like, class of 95. And he walks away. He's like, here's your money, bitch.
But yeah, when Samantha interjects herself into the conversation, before a lot happens in that one moment.
Yeah.
Because Clark and Darla are so excited to see him, and they're like dumbstruck because he looks so different. He lost all the weight and everything.
Yeah.
And like, where have you been? Like, what have you been doing? Like, where did you go?
Yeah, he's like, I just migrated west, you know?
He's like, man, those are some veneers, man.
He's like, oh, don't tell me you're a dentist. He's like, yeah, completely sold out. And he's like, you and me both, buddy.
But Samantha goes to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it's so glad to meet you both. And then she kisses Clark on the cheek, and then she kisses Darla right on the mouth, but like lingers for a while. And then she walks away. And then
but I like
Darla's like,
I like it when they're
she's
done.
very affectionate.
Yeah. I like it when she gets done kissing her and she just like looks her dead in the eyes and she's like, Darla. And turns around and walks away, and she's like, she seems nice. And then Chris is like, and affectionate. So, but he's talking to them, and that's when Darla sees Jamie working behind the bar, and she keeps trying to wave Jamie over, like, come on, like.
And I never really noticed that before.
Like it's Chris Brander.
I'm so focused on Chris talking to Clark that I never paid attention to Darla. She's motioning
that's
Jamie
what gets,
over.
Yeah, that's what gets him to break the conversation, because he notices she's doing something, so he looks down at Darla's hand and then glances over and sees Jamie, and that's when she just
ducks behind the bar.
And then he comes, I like it.
Jamie?
Well, it's funny because the way he says it, like he's just standing there and he's just glancing over. He's like, Jamie. Says it real low, but then just comes over and looks over the bar and he's like, Jamie? He's like, hi.
It's like, what are you doing down there?
What are you doing down there? And she's like, I'm just busted.
I think she meant to say, I busted.
I busted my ass.
Yeah.
Like, oops, I slipped and fell. Funny guy.
He runs around the counter and gives him a hug. Oh my God, I can put my arms around you. Thanks for reminding me I'm fat. I was fat.
And then she was like, oh, your arms and your chest and your belly.
But that's when she asked to go out with him the next afternoon. It's like,
he's like,
date.
Well, no, that's because she was like, how long are you in town for? And he was like, just tonight, really. And she was like, oh, you can't stay any longer? And he was like, no, unfortunately I can't. And then that's when Samantha comes up and she was like, come on, Chris, let's leave. There's pee on the seat. And then she turns and looks at Jamie and she's like, and just walks off. And then he turns around and that's when Tim's there again. And he was like, Jamie, pal. He was like, back in high school, you could never get a girl like that.
Now you can get anybody you want.
Get anyone you want. And then he was like, okay, Tim, why don't you? And that's when it hits him. He's like, oh, I could do this. So that's when he goes over and he's like, hey, there's a chance that I might be delayed another day. It was like, what are you doing tomorrow? And she was like, oh, well, let's go out and get some lunch. And he's like a day date. Cool. But that's when Anna's sitting over, or Samantha's at the door, and she's like, Chris. And he's like, I'm busy. And she's like, I'm busy, stupid dick.
Oh my God.
He was like, great, sounds good. I'll see you tomorrow.
So yeah, this is why he has to have Samantha detained.
Yes.
So he can go out with Jamie. But that doesn't go as planned because his little brother Mike takes her to the mall. She tries writing a song, and Samantha had a taser, and somehow Mike ended up with her taser.
I think he was acting as security.
Yeah, he's sitting on a bench like outside of one of the shops. She's against the rail, like trying to write a song about the small people in the mall, and they just
people, they come and go.
Yeah,
mall people, you just don't know.
So bad.
It is.
And so Mike is talking to her, and then the taser goes off, and she flips over the banister, and then
he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I like when he gets home and he was like, look, there was a little unforeseen accident, and I was like, she's okay. And then when he opens up his eyes, he's like, dude, what's wrong with her? And he was like, nothing's wrong with her. She's just loopy from all the Vicodin.
Where did she get Vicodin?
Mom.
But I like when he first opens his eyes, he's like, oh my God. It's about what she's fine.
She's got her
toothpaste.
I'm a bubble.
So she's got a tube of toothpaste. She got like an ice bag strapped to the top of her head, and she's just not eating the toothpaste, but just squirting it into her mouth and holding it there.
Yeah, and then just kind of letting it dribble out. The another one. Those are funny, and I mean, you know, Mike. The reason Mike calls Chris is because he's telling him, he's like, I have an idea, and then Chris immediately is like, no. He's like, listen, just hear me out, okay? He's like, no, and he was like, look. How about, since you're trying to bang Jamie Palamino, I go to Paris with Samantha instead? And he's like, no. And he's like, you haven't heard the whole thing yet. So, but then like later on in the movie, he's like, hey, you know, I'm going over to Jamie's and everything. And the thing was like Christmas Eve or whatever. And he just like, just make sure she's fed and just sleeps or whatever. And
he's like, tell her I had to meet with Bono.
Yeah. And then
he's like, you're going to meet with Bono? No,
like,
just lie.
He's like, lie, you idiot. But then you see Mike, like, brushing his teeth or something, and he rinses his mouth, and he spits it out, and then he's like, he shuts his mirror, and...
The medicine cabinet with the mirror on it, and she's standing behind him.
And he's like, ah! And she was like, where's Chris? And he's like, I'll never tell you anything. And then she just starts kissing him. He was like, he's with his lover. It's like, I can take you there. But I like it when they come pulling up, and then Mike just hangs out of the window, and he's like, the jig is up. Run!
His brother's screams are so funny.
They are.
So there's that other scene where Mike comes into the room, and Samantha's sitting on the bed, and he's got, like, flowers. He's got snacks. I'm trying to think of what else he had. Magazines. Yeah. That's what it was. So he comes into the room. He hands her the magazines, and she's like, these are old. And she's like, oh, I brought you flowers. Those are daisies. So he like throws those down. She's like, well, I brought snacks. She's like, are you kidding? Carbs? You know what that would do to me?
He's like,
and he's like, fine.
I'll just leave you alone then. She's like, wait.
What was
sorry
weird is
I'm being such a
biatch. He's like, it's just... I haven't had sex in a long time, and I'm just super horny.
Yeah. She's like, oops, I'm naked. And he's like, you naked? And she's like, do you have any oil?
Right back. Yeah, because she's like, oh, my back is hurting. He's like, I could give you a massage if you want. She's like, oh, you would do that? Yeah, he comes back with the thing of baby oil. This was before Diddy bought all the baby oil in the world. He starts squirting. Oh, more. Okay, enough. But Chris comes home in the middle of him massaging Samantha, and he like pulls him off of her. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. And then she was like, where have you been? And he was like, I was getting you food.
And it's just something in like a gold wrapper. I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know either. To me, it looked like a little piece of chocolate.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Like dark chocolate, maybe. Yeah, I thought that was strange. But that one scene, I don't remember what happened prior to that, but
that's when he was at the dentist.
Mike had come in.
I know that scene was when he was at the dentist because
Oh yeah, because
that's when he was like,
"Are you wearing a retainer?"
And he was like,
"You look like a doofus."
A doofus. And he was like, doofus.
Yeah, Mike like rolls over on the bed, so he's like right next to Samantha,
Yeah.
so they're both chanting doofus to him. But yeah, he like jumps on top of him and starts beating the shit out of him. But no, there's the one scene where Mike comes in and he's got Christmas cookies, and then they slap each other or whatever, or they're about to slap each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I love you." He's like,
too.
"I love you too." And then his brother hands Chris a cookie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, they have that relationship where they're just constantly physically abusing one another.
Yeah.
But that's just a given. That's just the relationship that they have. But they still love each other.
Yeah. And after everything goes piss poorly for Chris, and he goes home and he's just like, all right, grabs his suitcase, grabs a bottle of whatever, like whiskey or gin or something, but it's funny because Mike is just laying on the couch reading a magazine or something, and he was like, "Oh, did you boink Jamie last night?" And he was like, "That would be a no."
Yeah, because
He's
Chris
like,
doesn't
"Okay."
say anything at all.
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, see you in another 10 years."
years.
Which is weird because it's not like he hadn't seen his brother in 10 years.
Because they go to visit him.
Yeah, they go to visit him every Christmas. So, but then he's drunk at the bus stop with Tim. And he's like, "Can you believe this?" He's like, "Not one taxi in this town. I got to take the bus."
He's like, "Oh, the bus sucks, man."
He's like, and then the bus pulls up and he was like, "All right, I'm out of here." He's like, "You can kiss my ass, Sucktown, USA." And then he gets on the bus and he was like, "Hey, bus driver, pull my finger. Come on, pull my finger. Come on."
He gets kicked off
I
the
think
bus.
it was like 5 feet. The bus drove.
Yeah, if that.
And it just threw him out. And I mean, it's surprising that Tim just didn't walk up and just be like, "Hey, that sucked."
He ends up going back to the bar
Yeah.
to see Jamie. I mean, he's drunk. He's like, "What are you doing here?" And then Dusty is there.
Yeah, she's helping Dusty set up. Like, he's going to sell some CDs, it looks like. Maybe put on a little acoustic performance or something. And that's when she was like, "Oh," and he sees the CD and he's like, "What's this?" And he was like, "Simply Dusty."
Oh,
Is
as
there
if there's any other kind.
Yeah.
Or something.
So then she was like, "Chris, I don't know what your problem is." She was like, "Look, I am fine. Dusty is fine. We're friends." And then you hear Dusty in the background. He's like, "Hopefully not for too much longer." And then she was like, and he's like, "See?" She turns around, she's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, Jamie, I've been meaning to talk to you about that." He's like, "Really kind of think that we should progress our relationship up to the next level." And then she was like, "Oh, Dusty, that's sweet, but I don't really like you like that." And he was like, "Well, I did write you that song and
Put a lot of work into it.
And he's like, "What kind of woman would you be if you didn't
put out for the guy that wrote you that song?"
And then he was like, "You know what? F this. I'm mobile." He goes over and just smacks that girl on the ass. And she turns around and then he just like holds up his fist to the boyfriend. He's like, "What, huh?"
Yeah, but then he like does like the devil horns with his hands. And he's like, like, what the fuck? What an asshole.
Yeah, what is this guy doing? And then I like when he's at the hospital too, or wherever, and he's singing to Janice, and he's like, "When Janice smiles," and he's like, "Janice." But then he sits down and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "I'll talk to you later, babe. I'm going to go talk to my friends." And he walks over. He's like, "What's up, homies?" And then he sits down next to that old man and just takes the old man's juice and opens it. And then you see Clark and he's like, "The man's juice."
I don't know if I noticed that.
It's so funny.
Yeah,
because it's an underappreciated line.
This guy is like comatose.
Yeah.
He's completely incoherent. He's frozen.
Yeah, he just takes the guy's juice and he's like, "Oh, it's the man's juice."
Oh my God. So much to unpack with this movie, so much to talk about, but
I mean, there's a lot of great scenes. I know that we touched on, I would probably say that we touched on like half of them.
At least.
Yeah. I mean, because a good majority of it, like it's I mean, just the little things in the movie are hysterical. So, I mean, we could probably spend another hour talking about this movie.
Oh, without question.
Yeah. And we don't want to do that because we're coming up on the hour mark right now. So,
yep. You know our rule. That's our one rule. Our role. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Trying to get back into the swing of things. It's been a while. But no, this is a fun one, and we wanted to start off the holiday season right. And because this movie is set around Christmas, we thought it would be appropriate to put this out end of November, early December.
Yes.
I think when this will post, December, 2nd or 3rd? What's next Monday?
Honestly, it might be the 1st.
It might be.
Because I think the 2nd is a Tuesday, because I believe that my younger kid was asking something of my lady friend, and she was like, I don't know, that seems kind of weird for a Tuesday. But he was saying something about December 2nd.
I think it's the 3rd, because isn't Thanksgiving on the 28th?
Okay, no,
this
the
year?
Monday is the 2nd.
Monday is the 2nd.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a fun one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I guess until next time. Quotable Podcast out.
You see that guy? Can't compete with him. It's like he's got 15 fingers.
Really?